Okay, we are live, and obviously Naman is here along with me. And what a chase by Sri Lanka, we have to say. I think when South Africa managed to put those runs, me personally thought that maybe Naman also thought that okay, these runs might be enough for them to win this game because it was not that much easy to chase down that type of a total because it was not a supreme batting wicket. I will say it was a tricky wicket, but the way they batted, now, this is a kind of performance that you expect from a home side when they're playing at their home conditions. It was a complete performance, I will say, after this chase from Sri Lanka. But Naman, I will come to you that what a win for Sri Lanka. Obviously, the main aim is for that World Cup to get prepared for that World Cup. But in the context of this series, I think it's a huge win because if you see, India have already won two games, so a winner of this game, there's a high chance that they might be, the finalist, the another finalist if India managed to be in that form. So, Naman, you have seen the game, you have also, written the report. So, how do you see this emphatic win by Sri Lanka against South Africa?
Totally an all-round performance by the Sri Lankans, and like you said, rightly put it out that the home team actually did play like they are
Mhm.
from. I mean, they know the conditions very well. They know what they were doing, and it was a phenomenal. I mean, it was splendid the way they put their chase forth. They planned it out strategically. Those partnership that they were building, rotating the strike continuously, and every now and then getting those odd boundaries to help the scoreboard ticking at a rate that will keep the required run rate in check. And I think the way they bowled as well, the debutant, her
Yes,
name Demi Vihanga, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Vihanga, she bowled
yes,
very
Vihanga.
brilliantly well. That right
Mm.
arm off break that she bowls and took 3 wickets on debut. It was a very interesting performance from Sri Lanka. This kind of gives them the boost that because their star batter, their captain Chamari Atapattu, is not performing at her level best. She is still struggling with her form, and with her not contributing, the rest of the batters contributing, it just shows that Sri Lanka has more to them than just Chamari Atapattu, and this is something I think South African cricket will be a bit concerned. They're struggling. They don't have the full strength still. Maizani Cap is not there, and a couple of others. But it's going to be an interesting tournament from now on because Sri Lanka now faces India and South Africa also faces these two one more time. But it is going to become more interesting now.
Yes, absolutely. And taking cue from what Naman said, I think the most important thing about this chase that it came without any contribution, such contribution from Chamari Atapattu. Because when you talk about Sri Lanka, obviously she is the main focus, and especially when it comes to batting, that she needs to score that 50, 60, or maybe a big 100. So then only Sri Lanka can, score 200, 300, or maybe chase down that kind of a total. But this chase without her, the way they chased the total down, it was phenomenal. And obviously, as Naman said, that the debutant Vihanga was special with the ball. Then I think Malki Madara was good. She made her debut in the New Zealand series right before this, and she was very impressive on that on that T20 series. She was impressive. So that's a very good performance, and the catching. I think that Silva catch was brilliant. I think that dismissed that. I think Chloe Tryon is what it was. I think it was a brilliant catch. So overall, I think it's a very good game. But Naman, we have to talk about the fourth wicket partnership, uh, and it was a record breaking partnership. Now it is the highest four wicket partnership for Sri Lanka in women ODIs. So I think it was a brilliant partnership. But Naman, do you think what I felt that the main part of the or the most inspiring part of that partnership was the way they managed to keep their calm and was always looking for those singles and doubles. I think that was the main part. So did you feel the same?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, earlier when Chamari got out initially,
Mm.
I'll have to bring this point as well before I go on to that fourth wicket partnership that Hassini Pereira has also
Yes.
been contributing very well despite her partner getting out. Even in the match against India, she was the one who got Sri Lanka a start. She tried to give them something to go on with. And now the middle order also contributing Vishmi as well, Gunaratne who contributed 20-30 runs, but
Yes.
her contribution was also vital the way she was
The
batting.
strike rate. The strike rate
Yeah,
is good. I think that is the main
yeah,
part.
every
Mm.
one of these middle order batters had a strike
Yes.
rate of more than 80. That tells you that they
Mm.
were constantly rotating the strike. They were
Yes.
not letting the bowlers get through them. They were trying to attack the bowlers whenever required to keep that required run rate. And then when we come to Samara Vikrama and
Mm.
Kavisha Dilhari. Both of
Prakshati.
these batters, yeah, they constantly took those singles and doubles, like you said, and they were trying to rotate the strike as much as
Mm.
possible so that the pressure don't build up on them. And if they lose the wicket, the lower middle order is able to get those final runs that are required, and that is what happened. Even when they got out, 5-7 runs were required by then. When by the time Harshita got out, so I think it was a very good batting performance overall, and these two players contributing significantly well, both scoring 50s to ensure that Sri
Mm.
Lanka gets this victory, because it was a very dry pitch, had nothing there for the batters, was difficult to bat on. But I think South Africa, again, they lacked firepower with their bowling. They didn't have enough firepower in that. They were not able to get those ball taking wickets, and there were good balls as well. But I think South Sri Lankan batters were tackling those good balls very easily and taking on those loose balls whenever required. So I think it was something that South Africa will be concerned about, given that this is kind of a preparation for them for the upcoming World Cup. So uh, definitely an all-round performance from Sri Lanka.
Yes, I think, and absolutely, I think the inexperienced spin bowling unit is haunting. I think South Africa right now, because apart from Malaba, there is no such threatening spin bowlers. Malaba is the prime spin bowler, and if you see Chloe Tryon, that balls from trial doesn't turn that much. She just bowl wicket to wicket. So if you just manage to, you can easily rotate the strikes in those overs without giving her wickets. So I think that's a part. So absolutely, I think overall performance, all round performance from Sri Lanka, and it was much needed after that. How they played against India in that opening game. But moving on to South Africa, I think Naman, I think again, obviously every day your openers are not going to score hundreds. I think Tasmin Reeds was brilliant in that last game, but okay, today she failed. Laura Ulbert also, I think she will be disappointed. She was looking good in those 20 ball, but the ball at which she got out, it was brilliant. I think that ball was superb. Hit the top of point, brilliant. But again, I think the middle order in the pre-match show of today's match, me and Trishadi were discussing the same. It's okay when it comes to the batting of South Africa. We always talk about the opening partnership of Breeds and Laura Woolward, that these two have to fire. But if you see the middle order, Lara Goodall, I think today she at least scored some important runs to show that okay, she can do. I think that was important. But again, Meso, a young prospect, she failed again. Sunelu got the start, failed to, convert into a big score. And I think there was a big chance for a player like Chloe Tryon today with the bat. I think now it's been a long time now. The same what me and Tushadi were discussing, that you can hardly remember a time when Chloe Tryon has won a match South Africa with the bat. So do you think that a player like Chloe Tran with all that experience in her back missed a trick today by with the bat?
I think they didn't read the conditions very well. Sri Lanka opting to bowl, they backed their
Mm.
abilities. They knew how the wicket is going to perform, and I think South Africa are too reliant on their openers to give them a solid start. And if they fail, the middle order kind of falls apart. But today, I think kudos to Lara Goodall. She tried to do something, and I mean, she was almost striking at the same strike rate like the Sri Lankan batters. So she was trying something, couldn't convert it into a big score, but there's a start from her. Then, I mean, Karabo
Chloe Tran.
Miso,
Mm.
17-year-old. I mean, I don't
Yes.
expect much. I haven't
Yeah.
seen her play in the domestic, but I don't expect much of her. This is a kind of a platform for her to get going, get the experience that it's required to get. I mean,
Mm. Mm.
and then I mean the experienced players. Chloe Tran,
Chloe Tran.
everyone, all of
Mm.
yeah, I was expecting them to do something, but Tran also failed to convert that big partnership that she had in with Derrickson.
The only good thing, I think she batted at a very good strike rate. If you see, I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
87 or 88. So
80, yeah.
so she was going good, but the problem is that converting that starts.
starts.
I
Yeah,
think yes. So that is the problem. Nadine Clark also, I think, had a very good chance today. But
chance.
we have to talk about any direction. I think she has been superb. In the
Superb. Yeah,
last match also, the glimpse
yeah,
was there that she can hit the ball powerfully. We all are discussing about her. In 2024, she was named the ISIS Emerging Player of the World. So I think very good player. And the best part is that after that knock, today she hit her maiden ODI 50 unbeaten. She also remained unbeaten. That is why I think South Africa managed to reach that total. Otherwise, it would have been, very less. The best part that I found that just after the completion of the fast innings, Madison Cup came up and shared an Instagram story and also tweeted that big things are, coming for this player. So I think it's a very good, gesture, I will say, from a senior player and not a senior player who has retired. She is also a part of your current squad. Just in this city, she has been rested. So a
yeah.
player, a legend, I will say, in this women's cricket, who with whom you are playing, and she is coming and appreciating your innings, and I think that's a huge thing. So award on analytic direction, Naman.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed it in the last game as well against
Mm,
India. She showed some signs of brilliance, and today as well,
mm,
she was doing what was required of her. She has been superb, no doubt about that. The way she has been playing, the bat swing, everything has been good from her side. She's showing the
mm,
intent that is required. Her strike rate was also more than 100. That shows how aggressive her intent could have. I mean, she was turning. She can switch gears whenever it was required. She scored a six. I mean, four boundaries and a six. So that tells you that she has versatility in the rank, in the means that she can switch gears whenever the team requires her to do. And she was brilliant, no doubt about that. In the first game as well against India, she showed signs, and today as well, she was doing what was required and getting such a compliment from a senior player, even though she hasn't left South Africa, she hasn't
mm.
retired, she's still
Yes,
playing with you. But a
yes,
senior player telling you, it's like Mithali Raj telling something to Shefali
exactly.
Verma. It's like that. So you start to run those things in your mind that okay, my performances are being noted by players. Everyone is seeing that I'm doing good. Okay, I'm doing something good. I'll just continue on those ranks, and I think her consistency might pave way for her. I think she might just get promoted in the order.
Yes, absolutely. And yesterday, only in the pre-match press conference, a question was asked that in media you have been, compared with Madison Cap and all, and gracefully, Direction said that it's very early. I don't know why I am getting compared to her. She is a legend of the game. I am just learning, and that was beautifully said. And today, the praise come only from Madison Cup. So I think it's a beautiful story. But overall, I think South Africa must be very disappointed. I think after the way they played against India in that chase, because that was their game, I will say. I think when Tasman Beats didn't continue to bat due to the heat, I think that changed the game for them. Otherwise, I think South Africa would have won that game. But I think after that performance, not being able to win this game, I think South Africa must be very disappointed. Okay, Naman. Now we I think we should discuss about the captains. I think before this match, the main focus on both the captains, Chamari Atabatu for Sri Lanka and obviously Laura Ulvert for the South Africa. What did you see of both of them in today's match? Because what I saw that Chamari Atabatu did changed a many things from the last match, because against India she delayed their her spinners, but in this game she was, from the starting only she used her spinners. So that affected, that came as a, positive for them, and because wickets came early, and it also helped your pacers to get more wickets, to be more lethal. So I think that's a very good positive. But what mistakes do you think that Laura Ulbert made, or what she could have done better? What do you think?
I don't think there was anything particularly wrong that she did. I think she didn't have the firepower in her bowling lineup. I feel that is what something might have put her captaincy
You are
off. She
saying
might,
lack of proper
yeah,
resources, right?
yeah, that could be a reason because I mean, at points it seemed like she wasn't able to understand what next can be done. She wasn't able to
Mm.
help her bowlers get those breakthrough. Irrespective, their fielding was up to the mark. They put up a impressive performance in the field. That tells you that the body language of the players, irrespective of how the game is going, it's strong. It's not going down. There were not sloppiness in the field, and I think that captain's mentality kind of implies this, that the
Mm.
fielding will remain as proper as possible, even if we are losing a game. by a country mile. It doesn't matter. And I feel that Laura Wolfhard, I think today, like you said, the spinners are not that experienced. Their bowling doesn't have that amount of depth. I think that kind of contributes to her captaincy not working well in this particular series.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, we'll discuss more, but before that, we need to take some comments. Asim Hans is there, and I was expecting this kind of a comment. Trishadi is not here for some reason, but but I know why you're commenting these predictions. South Africa to win, South Africa to score 285, 300, expect Laura to score a century, Sri Lanka stand, South African all prediction. Yes, Hasiman, sorry, another day, another mistake from us. We expected a complete different scenario, but Sri Lanka stand everyone, I will say, because as when we began this show also, I think me and Naman, we all will agree that no one thought that the way they chase, I think that is no one predicted. Okay, they can win that game, but it was so convincing. I think no one expected that the way they ultimately chased that target down. Yes. Okay. The next comment is, yeah, Pavan Shure's super performance by Sri Lanka. Absolutely, and it was much needed. Okay. Next comment. Yes. Why is Atapattu getting out so early? Naman, any comments? Wrong choice of the shots, or
I
going
think I
early.
think yeah, like you were saying, that wrong choice of shots. Her timing also seems a bit
Mm,
off, the way she was. I think today a short pitch delivery that was on the
mm.
outside of off. She tried to play it and mistimed it. It got the edge and she got out. I think that is something. I think timing. I think it's just the phase of her right now that she's not able to get that shot selection or timing wrong, and I think it's all in her head that she's not able to get those. Once she starts hitting those, I mean timing those perfectly, I think she will get back to her best. I mean that's what
Absolutely.
I feel.
And
I mean you can add to that.
yes. No, no. I also think that wrong choice of shots, maybe, or maybe as a captain, you are trying too hard to give that big start to your team. So
Yeah,
sometimes when you try too hard, sometimes things doesn't come into the place, and yeah, and you ultimately lose a wicket. I think it happens. Uh, for
pressure
example,
comes up.
it was happening with Rohit Sharma also in the start of the
Yeah,
IPL, I would say. But now see, Rohit Sharma has found his mojo back after that 50, and now in every game he is hitting 50s. So I think it
50s, yeah.
happens. I think the best part for Chamadiyadabatu from today's game is that ultimately Sri Lanka won, and she will be much relieved. And this confidence might help her in the next game while she will
Yes.
come out to bat, maybe. So let's see if how she does in the next game. Pavan Suresh, any news about venues for World Cup, Women's World Cup 2025? No, there is no such official confirmation yet, but I think you can read many reports are out there on Google and everywhere that five venues have been selected. I think the high chances that those five venues will be officially confirmed, but ultimately as of now those all are reports, not official. No official confirmation have come out, and I think it all depends on where Pakistan will play and all, because Pakistan will not travel India, that is for sure. So where the hybrid model will come up and which will be the country where Pakistan will play their game, I think that is what delaying this schedule thing. Okay, Sanjit Sarkar, good to see bowlers finally taking wickets. Yes, that's a very good comment. And especially I will say not only bowlers, I will say pacers, because for a pacer to take 4 or 5 wickets, because Malki Malada take 4 wickets lonely only, but she took only 4 wickets. So seeing pacers taking those wickets in this kind of surfaces, I think that's a added bonus for Sri Lanka. What do you think, Naman?
Yeah, definitely. I think Chamari also. I was just reading that what Chamari said after the match, that she said Madara is bowling well since
Mm,
the New Zealand series, and we know
mm,
her potential. And I think the captain backing you just gives you the boost of confidence that you can get
yes.
something out of the conditions that you have played throughout your life on. So I think that kind of boost, and super performance, no doubt about that. And the way she bowled today, getting those wickets, I think it just boosted Sri Lanka's confidence in their chance of getting into the final of this Tri Nation series.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Sanjit Sarkar, Hassani Pereira still out for T's. The reason you know. No, we cannot know the perfect reason, but yet again another innings where she got a start and she got out 40s. I think this is an area that as a batter, I think she obviously knows, and I hope that she will work on. But today I think the catch was brilliant. I think from Laura Woolbard, diving forward, it was not so
Yeah.
easy. But somehow sometimes it happens with many batters. Maybe one more moment of concentration lapse or something, or maybe a loose shot or something, soft dismissal. Because in today's dismissal also, I think Naman, you can say this was a soft dismissal after scoring 40 runs. So I think
Yeah, I
again,
mean, I think the pressure that Chamari is also not
mm,
performing kinds of puts up on you, and I think
mm,
despite that, I think I'll take it as a positive that she's constantly scoring enough as an opener, giving a solid foundation for other batters to work on.
yes. Sanjay Saka saying mentioned Nilax is brilliant. Yeah, you are talking about that catch. Oh, you have already discussed that. It was a brilliant catch to dismiss Chloe Tran, because as we are seeing that Chloe Tran was going at a very good strike rate, but again with that catch she did. Otherwise, I think there was a chance for Chloe Tran, and she was moving on the right direction to score some important runs for South Africa finally, but somehow that prevented her. Okay, next. Yes, we have talked about this catch. Uh, Okay, Asiman, you mentioned the South Africa spinner inexperienced. What does to say about the chances later these are subconscious pitches? Should the Indian batters look to attack South Africa seeing this? Naman, any comments?
I'm not that much versed with how well the South African spinners are because I've not followed them for a long time. But yeah, I mean, Indian batters will be looking this at an opportunity. See, every country that will come and play in the subcontinent, they have to perform well in the sense that they have to tackle the spin. Subcontinent pitches are known for their spin playing. I mean, spin challenges that they pose. So I think this is a very big opportunity for India to capitalize on because
Hmm.
they have beaten Australia as well in India.
Hmm.
They are playing well in Sri Lanka the way they are batting. I think more converts will be required from top order batters. Smriti Mandana is also constantly getting out in those 30-40s runs, but if she gets to go along with Pratika Rawal, the way they have against Ireland, West Indies, and all of those countries, I think batting won't be a big concern for India.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to add something that obviously inexperienced, because as I said that Malaba is the prime spin bowler for them, and along with her Sunelu is there, and she is very experienced also. But when you see a Chloe Tran will bowl 6, 7, or maybe in a match 10 overs also. But how many wickets she guarantee you? I don't think she doesn't guarantee you at least 1 wicket per match, because her ball does not turn that much. And in a ODI game, maybe when it comes to World Cup and maybe in any series, you cannot expect the ball turning a long, having a long turn. So small, a little bit of turn, and I think if I was in that India squad, I will thinking that okay, let's play carefully both Malaba and Sunelu. Don't give them wickets. Let's attack Chloe Trail. But but the factor is don't go all guns blazing, because sometimes it happens that when you try those, you ultimately ended up giving wickets to that bowler only. So play sensibly. Don't become too static. Try to score runs of every ball. I think that is the best approach. But for South Africa, I think it is a concern, because it is inexperienced. Some new faces are there in the squad. What Laura Ulbert mentioned in our interview also, that they can get some game time in this series. Hopefully, they will get. And then if they do well, I think then it will help South Africa to get some another options going forward. Because see, Madison Cap will be back. Madison Cap will be back, and she will be your prime bowler in every phase of the game with that ball. And when Madison Cap is bowling, the pitch doesn't matter that much. WPL is the proof for that. In WPL, she has been playing, and she has been doing again and again in all these 3 years. So that is why Bharat. So that is why Bharat, I'm saying. So that is why. So that is why cap is very important. Cap is very important, and when cap is back, I think the bowling unit, as a bowling unit, they will be more confident with cap, with Malaba, then Sunelu, and then I think the Khaka will be more dangerous with cap. I think without not having cap in her side, I think that is kind of affecting her game. But I think Khaka, because what I saw in the 2024 T20 World Cup, both those bowlers were brilliant with the new ball and with the old bowler. So I know that was a T20 format, but still I think they have the capability of doing well in whatever the conditions and in whatever the format it is. So let's see. Okay. Yes, Sanjay sir, poor shot by Vishmi to get out when said you shouldn't get out. Yes, I think for every batter, this is a learning that when you are set and you are chasing a, particularly when you are chasing a game against a top team like South Africa or maybe a New Zealand, England, or India or maybe Australia, then the main focus of yours should be to finish the game. I know that when she got out, the game was mostly done and dusted for them. The chase was done and dusted, but still, as a batter, I think if you ask right now Vishmi that how do you think? I think she will come up with one line that it's all good. We have won. I have batted well, but still, I would love to be there and come out as not out. So I think that all batters know and all batters believe that way, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So I think she will look to improve that thing going forward. Okay. Asimhan, Naman mentions lack of resources as the reason why Laura couldn't do more today. Is there an over reliance on cap? Who all do we want to have in this team before you start judging Laura's captaincy? I think Madison a cap use your one of the main players. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that you cannot judge Laura's captaincy now as well. It can be judged. She could have done a lot more of things that could have helped her cause. But I think Sri Lankan batters were at their best today.
Exactly.
They read the conditions very brilliantly well.
Mhm.
They knew how to tackle the good balls and take on the loose balls, and they built their partnership according to that. I think South African batters, on their part, I think, fell short in doing so. They weren't able to stitch those big partnership enough, and I think that made it an issue for them to not able to post a big score. And and on the question about over reliance on Cap, I think when you have a bowler like Cap, you have to rely on her because it's like Jasprit Bumrah putting on pressure from one end, then the other bowlers
Yes.
find it easier to bowl so that the batter is already under pressure, and now you can
Mhm.
bowl however you want, how you can make him dance on your tune because he's already very cautious how to bat against a particular bowler. Now Cap
Yes.
puts that kind of pressure from one end, and the other bowlers, if they are doing well, they have that kind of mindset. They can uh, take on things from what Cap has been doing. I think that kind of helps your cause. So I mean, it's not
Absolutely.
about over reliance, it's about reliance. She is a top bowler and you have to use her very efficiently.
Yeah, you expect your top players to come good in every match. So that is not an exception for Cap also. And for Laura Ulbert, see, I think against India she did well as a captain. I think against Sriti Mandan straight using Sunelu and all. So there was a
Yeah.
plan, and even today I think there was a plan for every player. But we have to give credit the Sri Lanka batters down with the way they batted. Yeah, you can say that Laura Ulbert could have come with a defined plan, maybe a defined field setup, or maybe a defined bowling changes and all, maybe a lack of plan B, you can say. But I think in one match, judging a captaincy a bit of, just we are discussing that maybe these mistakes might happen and these things need to be improved going forward. So that is why we discussed. Pavan, she was saying, who do you think will reach the finals? I think it will be India and Sri Lanka after today's match, because Sri Lanka, this match was very very important. But I think now India have to play very carefully against Sri Lanka. I think this win can majorly boost their confidence. And a loss against Sri Lanka, then the tournament, will be very exciting. I think going forward. Who do you expect, Naman?
I mean, same. India,
Hmm.
obviously, the way they retrieved themselves, found that opportunity when Fritz got, retired hurt. They
Yeah.
banked on it and took those wickets. I think that gives them that advantage that they are present in the game. They are looking for opportunities constantly. So India obviously will get. Plus, the conditions suit them. It's
Hmm.
almost like their home conditions. And I think Sri Lanka, the way they optimize the conditions, like India, they got the better of South African batters when it was required. I think it was phenomenal from their side.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But by the way, in this match, I think two unfortunate injuries happened. One, I will not say injury. Okay, some network problem maybe for Naman. Not injury. I will say one. It is regarded to Karabo Meso. She was the wicket keeper. Obviously, we all know the 17-year-old kid. But some heart-related issue was there, and that is why Simona Japta replaced her. And hopefully, we wish a speedy recovery of her. And Sunelu was also not on the field in the I think in the last 8-10 overs maybe, because some issue was there, some fitness issue was there, some injury maybe, or some knock maybe. So that is why she got replaced. So let's see how they do, and hope, and whether they can make to the playing 11 in the next game or not. Okay, Pavan Suresh, who will be your pacers for India in Women's World Cup 2025? I think obviously Tita Shadu will be there, Renuka Singh will be there. They are not right now, I think, due to injuries and something, but they will be there. Arundhati, obviously one name that you have to consider. Then maybe I am not seeing Pooja Vastakar being fit for that World Cup, so
Yeah, no one is willing
maybe,
to comment on that.
yeah. Yeah, so I think Kashbi Gautam can be considered at least in the squad. So let's
She
see.
has
I think
bowled
this,
quite economically till now.
yes, and Naman, you have to accept that in these pitches you cannot expect a pacer to take 2-3 wickets. The best
Yeah,
part that you can do as a pacer, that create pressure.
yeah.
Having the dot balls, bowl wicket to wicket, and then you can do. So I think that is important. Okay. Sanjay Sir, would you want Sri Lanka to play the batting order they did today? It is perfect for them. Yes, I think Trisha they mentioned in the pre-match live only that this should be the playing 11 second India also. I think this was a very good playing 11 for them, considering the balance between batters and bowlers, especially the spinners. I think, and that helped actually them to and especially Chamari Adapatu as keeper to use her resources. So I think I am not seeing any further changes in the playing 11 when they are coming up against India, or maybe against South Africa in the next matches. Okay, yes, all comments are done. Okay, Naman. So it is perfect. Yes, done. Okay, all comments are done. So we can wrap up the show. So a brilliant show with the bat, I will say, mainly for Sri Lanka, and all-round performance, and a huge win for them in the context of this series. So let's see how the things go. Obviously, we'll come back with the pre and post match type of the next match of this series. So thank you, Naman. Thank you everyone who joined in, and let's meet in the next match. Thank you.